Let me share something I learned the hard way in my own garden. For many years, my raspberry bushes looked beautiful, tall, full of green leaves, strong and healthy. But the harvest was disappointing. Just a handful of small, sour berries. Maybe you've seen the same thing. It took me a long time to understand what was going wrong. And the reason turned out to be surprisingly simple. Like many gardeners, I believed that the more manure I added, the better my raspberries would grow. It seemed logical, but in reality, it was doing the opposite. Too much manure means too much nitrogen, and nitrogen makes the plant focus on leaves and shoots, not on berries. So instead of a generous harvest, you get lots of greenery and very little fruit. Once I understood this, everything started to change. The goal is not just to feed the plant, but to feed it in a way that helps it produce berries. Raspberries have a very shallow root system. Most of their roots are close to the surface, within just a few inches of soil. Because of this, they don't do well with one heavy feeding in spring. They prefer smaller, regular feedings throughout the season. And here is something very important to remember. There are two main nutrients that affect your harvest: nitrogen and potassium. Nitrogen helps the plant grow in early spring. It's important, but only at the beginning. Potassium is what really matters for the berries. It helps them grow larger, sweeter, and more flavorful. If raspberries get too much nitrogen during summer, they will keep growing leaves instead of fruit. So balance is the key. Over time, I settled on a simple routine that works reliably. In early spring, as soon as the soil warms up, I give the plants a light nitrogen feeding. This helps new shoots grow strong. When the plants begin to flower, I stop nitrogen completely and switch to potassium. This is when the future harvest is being formed. As the berries start to develop, I repeat the potassium feeding and sometimes add a little wood ash. It helps improve sweetness. After the harvest, I feed the plants again with potassium and phosphorus to prepare them for winter. And I always avoid nitrogen at this stage. I also remove old canes after fruiting. This keeps the plant healthy and productive. Over the years, I've also come to appreciate simple, homemade solutions. Wood ash is one of my favorites. Just a small amount soaked in water makes a very good natural fertilizer. Another helpful method is a simple yeast mixture. It supports the life in the soil, which makes a big difference over time. In spring, I sometimes use a nettle infusion as a gentle, natural source of nitrogen. And there is one little kitchen trick I especially like. I use banana peels. I chop a few peels, soak them in water, and let it sit for a while. This creates a mild, natural feeding rich in potassium. After using it, I noticed the berries became not only larger, but also sweeter and more attractive. Of course, feeding is only part of the picture. It's also important to protect the plants and care for the soil. A simple horsetail tea can help strengthen the plants naturally. And mulch is essential. A layer of straw or wood chips helps keep moisture in the soil, protects the roots from heat, and slowly improves the soil as it breaks down. If you ever notice the tips of the leaves turning brown, it may be a sign of overfeeding. In that case, it's best to stop fertilizing for a while and water the plants well to wash out excess salts. For those growing ever-bearing raspberries, it's important not to stop feeding too early. Continuing light potassium feedings into the fall can help maintain a good second harvest. And one more thing I've found very helpful over the years. Every couple of years, I add compost or vermicompost around the plants. It keeps the soil healthy and supports steady harvests for many seasons. In the end, it all comes down to a few simple principles. Feed according to the season. Focus on what the plant needs at each stage. And don't overlook simple natural methods. They really do work. My raspberry patch, which once struggled, now gives me a steady harvest of large, sweet berries every year. Take a look at your own plants. If they look healthy but don't produce as much as you'd like, a few small changes can make a big difference. I'd be curious to know, have you tried any of these methods in your garden?